Hey, are you ready to create a thriving online business for yourself? One that allows you to work when and where you want and create a thriving business that brings in the kind of revenue that you've always wanted and really deserve to have? Chances are you already have something in mind that you want to be able to do, or you're looking for that new pathway so that you can create that kind of a business for yourself. And even better, that you can serve clients at the highest level while creating that abundance for yourself, and know that it's based on a foundation of integrity and authenticity and draws on your experience and your life wisdom and brings it all together into a beautiful fabric of an online business. Now, maybe right now you don't even know what that's going to be, or maybe you already have a program or a product that you need to be able to promote and get out there, or an idea for something, or you're looking for that new career that you can do from anywhere you want remotely, that you have some control over, and that you don't have to answer to anyone else's beck and call or be concerned about what the circumstances of the world may be at any given moment, because you know you get to work from a place that you have chosen for yourself. Now, right now, there's a lot of people looking for a new pathway. I have many people in my programs that have been on the front lines that are saying, okay, enough already. I need to be able to have a more secure lifestyle, but I really need to continue to make the money. And so that's what we talk about on the Tina Lorenz Show. And that brings me to who I am and why you should listen to me. I'm Tina Lorenz. I'm a freelance copywriting mentor, mindset shifter, and transformational business coach. And I help copywriters, entrepreneurs, marketers, and service providers gain that clarity that they're looking for so they can consciously create that pathway to wealth and prosperity, and create those 6, 7, and 8-figure businesses, right? And so wherever you're at in that journey, that's what I do, and that's how I work with you. Now, maybe you're wondering, well, that sounds really good, but why should I listen to you? So let me just introduce you for a moment to a little bit of my story. I've been online since 2004. Classic late bloomer, okay? Didn't figure this out until way later in life. And one of the reassuring things that I want to share with you is that I don't have a college degree. Matter of fact, I haven't been to college at all. I've been on my own since I was 17 years old. I literally went out the bedroom window, made my way to Seattle from a small town called Federal Way, and went to court to become emancipated at the age of 17 so I could start making decisions for myself, because my family life was pretty dysfunctional to the point where I felt I needed to flee for my own well-being. So life began, and to make a long story short, I went through my share of struggles, just trying to figure things out, trying to understand what is it I could possibly do, and thinking maybe there wasn't anything that I could possibly do, because that's kind of the way I was raised, to believe that about myself. But through the journey of self-discovery and divine guidance, I found my way to what I do right now. Now, it was not always a smooth journey, because in my 40s, I went through a divorce and then met up with what turned out to be literally a psychopath who not only tried to do me and my children as well, and we literally had to flee for our lives. It's a long story that I'm not going to go into right this second, except just to know that I had to start from complete scratch. I was literally homeless in my 40s, had to start all over again, had to find a way to put my life back together. And that's when I discovered the power of mindset. Now, all of my programs, which have to do with copywriting, marketing strategy, all of those things are based on a foundation both of mindset, the science of mindset, and the aspect of spirituality, of really tapping into divine guidance and that deeper wisdom that lives in all of us, that we can access as really our own personal GPS, to be able to run our business and the foundational aspects of our business in a way that's aligned with a deeper purpose and a bigger impact on the world than just I have a website and I make money, right? And so if that sounds good to you, I think you might enjoy going with me on this journey, which is my new show, The Tina Lorenz Show. The Tina Lorenz Show, that's exactly what we're going to talk about, kind of the trifecta of power for your business. It's going to be the marketing and copy strategies, very deep levels on those, as well as the science, the neuroscience of the brain science of how we think, and how you literally can change your life by changing the way you think. I mean, copywriting is all about words, and I'm all about the power of those words and how they affect you in your life, how they affect what you actually are attracting and creating in your life. And it means we take responsibility for that for ourselves. We take responsibility for recognizing how we may be self-sabotaging or actually stopping ourselves in that journey. The other aspect of this is the Celestial Sherpa. That's what I call my students, and it's actually a whole practice, basically, that is about guidance. It's about receiving the messages and bringing the message to those that you serve. This all came about some years ago now, when I basically started getting what I call divine downloads. My friend Perry Marshall calls them memos from the head office, and messages that I knew were meant to be used for a higher purpose of what I was doing in my business. Now, I had a very successful business. I was able to, uh, from the time I started copywriting, I hit my first six figures in 6 months because I just believed in what I was doing, and I also sought out the right kind of mentors and networking, and was able to create a business from absolute scratch. No one knew who the heck I was. I didn't know how to be online, didn't know how to do any of those things, but I believed that I was being called to do this. And so I began and have built a very robust career, including writing for icons like Frank Kern and his Mass Control sales letter, a little bit for Russell Brunson, for people like Brian Tracy, for a lot of entrepreneurs that you might not even know the names of, who are super, super successful with 7 and 8 figure businesses, as well as launches like for Mind Movies and different topics like that. And so I moved through that arena of, and I have stories. I have so many stories to share with you about my experience of being kind of an OG in online marketing and copywriting, and how the things that have changed over the years and the things that have stayed the same, and how we leverage the ability we have from our life experiences and turn them into our businesses, right? So today I want to talk to you just a little bit about the beginning of really understanding the power of mindset, because our brains, I'm not a scientist, but I love the power of words, and I love that our brains literally are malleable, plastic, really can adjust and learn new skills and deeply embed new messages that we're giving to ourselves. Because from the time we're very young, basically we're being programmed from everything that's going in there, everything that's going into our tiny little brains from the beginning, that we have no conscious awareness of or control over. So by the time we're young children, we've already probably thought something like 70 or 80,000 negative messages have been flowing into our minds from the time we were very, very young. Even just the news being on in the same room as the baby, right? That's being taken in. And so there is a process of recognizing that this has occurred and being able to literally take control, in the sense of reprogramming your thinking, reprogramming your belief systems, your old stories that you're telling yourself. Like when we grow up hearing things like, money doesn't grow on trees, and who do you think you are? Or we just don't like those folks because they're rich, and you know how rich people are. There's so many different kinds of messages that we receive from the time we're very small that impact our ability to absolutely open those floodgates of prosperity and abundance that are there for all of us, if we just allow them to be and take responsibility for choosing how we think. Now, I learned that when I was going through my homeless adventure, so to speak, in my 40s, that I knew even then, even though I was suffering from post-traumatic stress, I was really not in great shape emotionally or spiritually in a lot of ways, because of what I'd been through in just one short year. It was quite devastating to myself and my children in all respects, not only financially, but emotionally, and feeling safe and all of these things. And this individual actually ended up stalking us for the next couple of years. So it was a long journey. But what I knew during that time was that I had the ability to choose, and I needed to be able to choose whether this was going to stop me, this experience was going to stop me or propel me forward. And it was my choice. It was like that fork in the road, so to speak, of deciding whether it was going to define my life in a very negative and destructive sense, and be something that stopped me and kept me living in a place of resentment or sadness or depression or any of those things, versus saying that this happened for, there was something I was to learn from this, and that I literally consciously made the decision that someday I would use this experience. It would be a benefit to someone else. I would be able to pay it forward in some way, in a positive way, if I could help even one person avoid what really occurred for me, was really facing off, looking evil right in the eyes. So that's what it was. It was seriously that intense. I ended up on national television shows over it. It got quite a bit of coverage at the time. But I still, all of that didn't leave me in any other place, except I have to make a decision about how I'm going to carry forward and how I'm going to take care of my children and make sure they still get what they deserve out of life, and all the abundance and hopefulness that should come for them at that point of their life, and carrying forward. And so that is what I did. Not saying it was easy, not saying it was super fast, but I did just have some little flame of hope that burned, that kept me moving forward into what I was able to do past 50, by the way. By the time I figured out copywriting, there was other chapters in between there, between the homelessness and that, but it was all taking me in that direction. So one of the things that I teach my students when it comes to mindset is to just, the very first step is to be aware, to start paying attention to the kind of words you tell yourself. Like if you're driving through town and the lights are turning red, do you say to yourself, this is always what happens to me? This is always how it works out. Or do you find yourself saying things like, well, yeah, obviously the worst hasn't happened yet, but I'm sure it's going to any minute now. Or, I never have enough money, or I'm never going to get ahead. If those are the messages that you're constantly repeating to yourself, there's a part of your brain, your subconscious, your reticular activating system, that's listening to that and taking that in. I almost think of it like this little entity that's either your best friend or your worst enemy, because your subconscious needs to match up your external experiences to your internal experiences. And so it needs to make sense out of things. And so when you're literally focusing on the energy on, this is always what happens, I never have enough, of course that never works out, it always works out for everybody else, any kind of thoughts like that, they actually feel uncomfortable for me to even say them like that at this point, because I know how impactful it is of how we think, right? And so when we're thinking those kinds of thoughts, our subconscious says, oh, okay, message received, let me match that up for you, let me make sure that that is your experience, because it's a safety mechanism, it's a survival mechanism. And if you're thinking it must be because this is something super important and I need to follow through. And I'm kind of talking almost like your reticular activating system, RAS, has a little personality, right? It's just all you, right? All you. But think of it like that this part of you is saying, oh, I need to protect you, danger, danger, and don't do anything different. Don't have anything new. Don't think it a different way. Don't experience it a different way, because it's not familiar. And sometimes we hold on to these old ways of thinking as if there is something to gain by them, almost defending them, staunchly defending them in our own thinking of, I deserve to feel this way. And I have a right to be angry or bitter or resentful or jealous or whatever the thing may be, that's actually holding you back when you think like that. And so if we can allow ourselves to not be so engaged in being of the certain way of thinking, it frees us to be able to start actually being an active participant in the creation of our own life, and being able to attract that abundance and really literally manifest that into our lives. Because I believe that the spiritual aspect of this is a God-given thing. It's, for me, that's what it is, a God thing, right? And whatever you call something beyond yourself, if you believe in there's something greater than yourself, then that aspect of it also comes into this, and that is the gift. That is the gift that we were created to be able to access. And so these are the kinds of things, as well as how do we get those great open rates on our emails, or how do we get more conversational? Why should we be? How do I write copy that really connects to my prospects? Or how do I think differently? Give me some exact exercises I can do to be able to think differently. These are all the kinds of things I'm going to be talking about on the Tina Lorenz Show. You never quite know where it's going to go, because I also am driven by that intuitive guidance. When something that needs to be said or needs to be heard, that I ask for that guidance ahead of time, that I will connect with you in a way that is meaningful for you, because this isn't about me. It's all about you, and being able to lift yourself up, because together we rise into something so much better than we might have experienced before, and something that might even be beyond what you thought was possible for yourself. Now, how does all this connect to marketing? It really does. There's no separation between these ways of thinking, the practice of what I call that spiritual practice that you can participate in, where you literally are getting that guidance for things that are going to happen in your business or how you're connecting with your clients. It's all one beautiful tapestry, not like I go to work and I think something different over here and I do something different over there. No, it's all part of who you are at your core, and how you are able to bring your voice out, so that you literally attract your ideal clients. When they hear your voice, they hear your message, you're resonating with them, you will naturally attract the types of people that are the right fit for you to work with, and that you have something for them. Every single one of us has something that needs to be heard. And if you are drawn to marketing and you already have that kind of inspired energy that says, I need to be able to do this, trust that, and keep following that, because someone out there needs you. Someone out there needs what your message is. And I'm going to help you refine that and just have other things to think about with it. So hopefully thought-provoking aspects of this, that will help you on this journey of marketing. If you're interested in learning more about this, another great way to start is that I have a program called authentic-copy.com. It's a free copywriting